Hi, it's Michelle from michelleslargefamilyliving.com. I wanted to share a story that our family had went through this past February. My niece Lily, who is 16, started off with a cold on a Saturday. She wasn't feeling any better, so her mom made an appointment Wednesday to take her into the doctor that following Thursday. And the doctor said, you might be getting the pneumonia, here's an antibiotic, send her home. Well, she started getting really weak that night, so her mom took her into the ER later that night. She was not in the ER not even an hour, and they had to intubate her because everything started shutting down. She was transported down to Masonic Children's Hospital in Minneapolis. Come to find out, she had Influenza A that turns into sepsis, which is like a blood infection. Her heart started failing. Her kidneys quit working, her liver wasn't functioning. I mean, just all of her organs started shutting down. So about 12 hours after being at Masonic, she was put on ECMO, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a heart-lung bypass machine that actually does all the work for you. They got that put in relatively fast because she started kind of going downhill, and the doctors there were just amazing. They knew exactly what to do, when to do it, and to be honest, none of the medical team thought she would make it through the night. I mean, what started off as just your normal everyday, I've got a cold, just went crazy. So they got her on ECMO. She stayed on ECMO for 7 days, and when she was in the ICU, it was 3 to 5 people in that room at all times taking her care. She had to be put on dialysis full time. They didn't know if her kidneys would come back to life. Anytime you're dealing with someone in the ICU, there's peaks and valleys. There's good times, there's bad times. You're just literally standing on your head the whole time. On the 7th day of Lily being on ECMO, that was removed. What was to be a 3, maybe 4 hour procedure ended up being 12 hours. So it was a very scary time. It was, there was just a lot of complications. She had her ECMO in the groin area, so when they were removing it, that all went fine. However, they couldn't get her circulation in her legs to flow. Ended up finding out she had little clots that kept blocking the veins and arteries, so that caused the issue. It did get fixed. However, they had to do what's called a fasciotomy on both of her legs, where they slice open the leg, the lower part on each side, to where the swelling doesn't get too bad and it preserves the legs. So she had those opened for like a week, maybe more, before those got repaired. So, but she ended up, after a couple days, her circulation was coming back. So that got corrected, which is good. However, she still has a lot of after issues with that. Swelling of her lower extremities. She has physical therapy. She has scars, which the scars are no big deal. They're part of her war wounds. But in ICU, it's scary. There's just a whole a lot of stuff that goes into when a child is that sick and they're in the ICU that you don't even realize you're going to have to walk through in this life. I had a hard time with it. I could not even imagine my sister and her husband. It was by the grace of God that Lily survived. It's like he walked the doctors and nurses every step of the way, because they were one step ahead of before she would crash. So she still has a lot of issues, but she spent 5 weeks at Masonic. 3 of those weeks were in ICU. So her mom never left her side. I was there every day, except for I think maybe 2 days. So we had family flying in from out of town, out of state, because She was that critical. We didn't know how it would go. So, to say the least, now when my child gets sick, I get worried. Just because you don't know, and you don't know. It doesn't happen all the time. It just happened to our family, and it's scary. But we are so very glad that the Lord let Lily stay with us. He must have some really special purpose for her in this life, because that girl went through a lot, and shouldn't be here. By all medical terms, should not be here. So I'm going to be bringing Lily in and having her chat to where you can see her and see how she's doing. There's still a lot she has to do. So I'm sitting here with our miracle girl, Lily. Just thought I'd show you guys how she's here, and the Lord let her stay with us. Tell them how many times a week you go for therapy and what therapy.
Well, I go to cardiac rehab 3 times a week and physical therapy twice a week. So,
is that really hard?
Physical therapy, we got to the point where it's just stretching and stuff and trying to get my ankle. Usually it's always flat.
That's for your drop foot, right?
Yep.
To get your foot to walk flat.
Cardiac rehab, it is a little hard, but it's got to be for me to get strength back.
And how much longer cardiac rehab do you have?
Well, I'm in a month and a half into it, so probably like another month and a half.
And then hopefully you'll be done?
Yeah, hopefully.
Are you going to be able to go back to school this fall?
Yes, but we're unsure how it's going to work.
Because of your therapies and stuff that'll probably still be going on.
Yeah.
Tell them how many different types of medications you're on a day.
Well, I can't name all of them, but I am on 15 meds.
That's 15 different meds, and you take some of those multiple times a day, correct?
Yeah, some of them.
And that's for your heart, right?
Yep.
Your kidneys?
Yes.
And swelling and some other stuff, right?
Yep.
And those are long-term until your body decides to say, okay, I'm fixed.
Yeah, I don't know the exact how long, but...
And then you have to go for more testing this month for the Holter monitor for your heart?
Actually, we did that just like earlier just this week.
Oh, really? Oh, good. So that's done. So we're just waiting on results?
The heart is doing good, actually.
Oh, see, bonus, because we were worried about with ECMO, you can have heart failure to where some people actually need a heart transplant, and Lily got very, very lucky that her heart rebounded really well, and her kidneys finally decided to kick in, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you her scars from the fasciotomy I told you guys about, on what she's having to deal with and go through, and the swelling in her lower legs. So there is one side of her leg, and it goes on the other side, and you have it on that side too? And then she's still a lot of swelling. So the doctors are trying to figure out how to correct that. She may need another procedure to kind of get those vessels and veins flowing better. But there is just one of her many war wounds. Okay, so can you tell them what it was like from what you remember in the hospital? Because obviously you don't remember the first couple of weeks, correct?
Well, what I remember is different from what they remember. The doctors gave me drugs that made me see stuff that I was in like a kind of coma for like like what was
Like
it?
17 days that you were intubated.
70 days.
Yep.
I don't want to say this is very scarring, but for me it really wasn't. I don't know why. I'm weird. I was tortured. I saw my organs. I saw my bones. I saw my mom part of the skull. And at one point, a nurse came in and cut part of my leg. I didn't have my arm. I didn't have my right leg.
So that's one of the bad parts when they have to sedate you when you're on ECMO, and the medications that they give them to keep them sedated has side effects of delirium. They have hallucinations. So something that a nurse may be coming in and checking her leg, she imagines it differently than actually what happened. So that's a really downfall, and that was really hard for all of us to see her like that, because it's just not Lily, and it's hard to see your loved one in that way. What about when you started coming out of that? How did
So when I first woke up, the first thing I remember seeing was my mom, and then the doctor talking. I'm like, my face was just surprised, like, you have a body? It's like, yeah, of course I do. The first thing I wanted to tell was, I don't want to live, because I remember having all these stuff
from the
it's
hallucinations.
Like, it's like, you have a leg, and I lift up my leg. I'm like, oh. So apparently, fun fact. Apparently, one of the things I did in my coma is I didn't like to be moved. I didn't like to be brushed with mint. At one point, a nurse was trying to move me, trying to keep the body moved, so it's not like
Laying
totally
in one
stiff.
spot. Yep.
I grabbed a pillow and threw it at the nurse.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, I'm a
Yes,
good
she
girl.
did.
And the first thing I told my brother when I woke up was, Menards sucks.
He works at Menards, by the way.
Because of all the drugs I was on. I said that.
Are you, it was really hard towards the end getting your physical therapy up to get discharged, wasn't it?
I hated it every time. I was depressed in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me meds for that. So I'm all better now. Almost.
Yeah, it was really rough trying to learn to basically re-walk. I was laying in a bed for 3 weeks before, and not being out of it makes you super weak.
My friend saw me, how hard it was trying to just sit up.
Yes. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough, but you did it, didn't you?
Yep.
And are you glad you're here?
Oh, yeah.
We are so glad the Lord left Lily here with us. He's got some serious plans for this girl. Serious plans. And by the way, she is an awesome artist. She knows how to draw all kinds of stuff freehand.
No, except humans. Just mostly animals.
She does an awesome job. So, what are your plans for the near future besides obviously getting yourself your health back and starting school? You have any other plans, or is that just your goals right now?
I hate thinking about the future. I don't like to talk. I'm like,
live for the moment, right? Right now.
I can do that later.
Well, I showed you Lily, and like I said, I encourage you guys to go to her Caring Bridge site, and you can follow her on there. I update frequently, so we will have another video later on her progress a couple months from now to see how she's doing. Bye.
Bye.
One thing that got me personally through this journey our family went through was Isaiah 41:10. I would reflect on that daily. I would pray. The Lord states in Isaiah 41:10, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, and I will protect you with my righteous right hand." Isn't that the truth? Because Lily is a true miracle. The Lord let her stay upon this earth with us. I encourage you to go to her Caring Bridge site It has been visited almost 12,000 times. I have documented from day one her journey. So you could really get some insight on what she went through and the miracles that just transpired through her journey. I will put the link below to her Caring Bridge in the comment section. So please go over there and read. And I hope you all have a great day. Blessings.